Hey everyone, Terry over here again with what I believe to be lesson 4, maybe lesson 5. Not really sure, I hadn't looked. But it's the next lesson in Guitarjitsu. In the last lesson we covered the Bead index scale, which will let you, if you know your lower E whole tones on your low E, will allow you to find any specific note that you're looking for around that general fret area. And then once you locate that note, you could use the root scale to move anywhere else on the fretboard that you want to go to. So basically, you know your whole fretboard if you know your low E and you know how to apply the bead scale, the bead index scale. So now we're going to do something a little bit more specific and useful when it comes to chord progressions and locating any note from any other note. So we're going to do what I call the expanded index scale. So we're going to take the bead index and we're going to add a note on either side of the index, and that way it gives you more versatility when you're trying to find notes from notes. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here I have written just a general. Let's see if I can drop this down somewhere. Here we go. Just the general bead index. B-E-A-D-G-C-F. Now if you don't know that, if you don't understand that, that means you haven't watched the last lesson. You need to do all the lessons from 1 to, I think this is the 5th one. Do them all in order and learn them. It's really to get the most out of the system. So all we're going to do is we're going to take each letter or note of this index scale and put a note on either side of it. So a short arrow would be a half step or 1 fret. So 1 fret below the B is a C, and a whole step above the B is an A. See how that looks. I hope that's clear enough. It's hard for me to write at this angle. Half a step below the E is an F, and a whole step above the E is a D. A whole step above the A is a G, and a whole step below the A is a B. A whole step below the D is an E. A whole step above the D is a C. A whole step below the G is an A, and a whole step above is an F. A half a step above the B, a C is a P, and a whole step below the C is a D, and a half a step above the F is an E, and a whole step below the F is a G. So that's all we really need to do to expand the scale. So anywhere on any fret that you're using the bead index, you could use the. Let's say that you're on. Say that you're playing a B chord, and you built it off this B note. Wherever you're at on the fretboard, it doesn't matter. You're playing the B note. Okay, now you know how to make the chords from lesson 2. Hopefully, if you watched it. But say you're playing a B minor, and you want to get a hold of a G. Well, you could follow the B either up the scale to G, or you can follow it back up to A and go to G that way. See? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Or you can follow the B back up to A and go to G this way. So it's possible when you're familiar with this system to find any note from any note, as long as you know what note you're on. With practice, something funny going on with the lighting. I don't know what's making it flash like that, but I hope you can see it. But anyway, so what you want to do, the way you want to practice this is just pick any fret. I would do the 7th fret because it starts with a B, and this is pretty spelled out pretty clearly. But you could do it anywhere, and just like find the B note, and then go to one side or the other, do the C and the A, The most important thing is to realize that this is just a 1 fret up from the B, and this is a whole step up, which would be 2 frets to the A, and just practice going back and forth on each one of the letters just to get familiar, so that you understand the distance and the intervals between. Most of you's probably going to go ahead and know that, but there's just a half a step between a B and a C and an E and an F, and the rest of them are whole steps. So just get used to that, and it's going to be very useful to you when you're trying to find one note from another note. Okay? Just an idea. Since you already know the bead index, why not go ahead and expand upon it? In the next lesson, we're going to do a little bit more with it. A few lessons more on the fretboard and everything, and then we're going to be doing some other cool stuff. So go ahead and like and subscribe and hit the bell and all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, hope you had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. I certainly did. Spent some time with the family and had a day or so off. About, I don't know, part of a day and part of another day off. That's the life of a truck driver, though. So, yeah, don't be a truck driver. Anyway, take it easy. See you in the next video. Peace.